Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. Here's a tidbit of advice that, I've mentioned in different videos, and I've said it one way or another for a while. And, well, I may have done a video specifically on this, but I just got to do it again because I keep running across this. And that's one of the best pieces of advice you can get, or a thing you can change, or a thing that you can learn, is to shut the frick up and close your mouth and open your ears and listen. If you're lost and you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know everything, you may know a little something. Just like in any area of life, somebody who's learning or trying to be an apprentice, or somebody who wants to be a great athlete, you listen to somebody who's a more accomplished athlete, or somebody who has experience being a carpenter, an electrician, a construction worker, a handyman. You don't go in there and just tell them all the things as your theories on how things should be done, or how you think stuff should be done, or your way, and ramble on and on and on, blah, blah, blah. Or if you go into a college class or even a high school class, you don't take over the class as a student. You shut the hell up and let the teacher talk. Or also, when you're in court, there's some people go into court and they do stuff the way that they want to do it because they're telling the truth. So they get all basically hypocritically, they get high and mighty, and they want it, since they're telling the truth, they want to push the court to do what they want them to do, and they're violating the court rules. They're not following along. They're not assimilating to how the court operates, and they don't like it, so they think they can just railroad their way through the court system, and those are the people who usually give up real quick. If you're on the court's turf, you have to follow the court's rules and assimilate and do their MO and kind of play the game. If you walk in certain neighborhoods in America, depending on who you are, you can't just walk through there. You can say, "Oh, I have a constitutional right to walk through here." The reality is, you might get hurt if you don't assimilate, or if you go to a party with some elite group of people or some club where you got to dress a certain way or act a certain way. If you act out of line, you get kicked out. If you go to a baseball game and you're sitting there talking to the baseball players and dropping F-bombs left and right, and some parents are saying, "Look, we got some kids here," and they'll call the ushers, you have to get out. You don't get to do the stuff the way that you want to do it on your territory. If you think that you can go to court and you're just going to do it your way, I've had people I've talked to and they say, "Well, I'm just going to do it like this," and they're going to listen to me. You stupid egomaniac dumbass, you're willing to risk your life with your kid so that your ego can win an argument that you'll do stuff the way you want to do it? Or will you play their game on their turf and play the game the way that's worked for me and thousands of other people? See, some of you just don't want to humble yourself and shut the frick up and learn something new or different for the sake of your kid, because you're too much of a narcissist little bitch that wants your way like a little diva or a little baby. And you also need to recognize where you're at. When I went to go see my mentors, I would go and ask them questions and shut the frick up and listen during most of the time of our meetings. When I went to my first meeting with Dads America in their chapter in Washington, Dads Against Discrimination in Washington State, I sat there and listened. I asked one or two questions, maybe. Then I watched all the other dads bitch, cry, and moan and hope that everything would go away. And at the end, I talked to the guy, and I said, "I need to talk to you some more." And so he talked about how he could do an appointment and meet me. So when I met him, I shut the hell up and listened to the stuff that he said. A lot of people will call me, and then I'll say, "Okay, I've been doing this since 2001. When I won right away. I have 2 decades of experience. You just got blindsided with paperwork. You've only been doing this a couple years. You've lost over and over. So what I need from you is to tell them, like I'll ask people at the beginning of a consult, okay, what do your court orders say right now? Well, it's a long story. Let me go back and tell you. My baby's mom used to cut her hair really short in the summer, and then in the winter she let it grow long. And we used to go to a soda shop, and she ordered a root beer float, and I would just get a Diet Coke. I don't need to hear all that shit. I need to hear an answer to the question. Like, the fact that people are so stupid that they're talking to somebody who knows 100 times more than them and they don't want to listen to them. You know, I will cut a consult short and I will give somebody's money back if they want to talk over me the whole time, if they don't want to listen to any of my questions, or they're incapable of answering them, because they're a hopeless cause. If you go into court and you can't freaking shut the hell up and shut your pie hole and listen for a second when a judge asks you a question, if you want to tell the whole story to overwhelmingly prove to a judge in 5 seconds what would take you a trial's worth of evidence and exhibits to do, you're going to lose, because you're going to piss the judge off and the judge isn't going to listen to you, and you're going to look like an asshole because you can't listen to a simple yes or no question and can't answer it. If a judge ever asks you a question, answer the freaking question immediately, then elaborate, dumbass. If a judge says, were you at the mall that night, and you're trying to figure out, or, you know, they're trying to figure out whether you violated a restraining order. If you were at the mall that night, then say yes. But I had no idea that she was there. Don't start saying, Your Honor, when you get in this order and blah, 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 and she likes to go to a different mall. I don't even know what mall she... Shut the hell up and answer the damn question. It's so hard sometimes to get people just to answer a yes or no question. Or, like, the people who want to learn, I'll say, you know, first I need to know what your court orders are, what's your visitation in them. And people are so antsy. I mean, it's almost like a rapist. You're so horny and turned on, you're going to go violate somebody and you have no restraint. You want to run your mouth so bad and tell me your whole freaking story, and you have no control and no restraint, that when I say, okay, I need some this and that, you're like, no, I'm revved up to tell you everything. I'm going to talk and talk and talk. You know, I talked to somebody the other day. I told them I need some answers, and they wouldn't listen to me, so I let them talk. And then we talked and talked. And then after an hour into the consultation with 30 minutes left, they still wanted to ramble on and talk and dominate the conversation. For what? While there's a whole bunch of chaos going and noise going on in the background also. What the hell do you want to do that for? I mean, think about what you're doing. Why am I rambling on? What am I getting out of telling this guy my entire story, and he asked me some questions and I still haven't answered them yet? So I told this person, you just gave me about 10 minutes worth of information that took you an hour. I have an hour's worth of information to share with you right now, and I only have 30 minutes left because you didn't listen to a damn thing that I said, and you didn't want to listen to me. Now, if you want to learn something, I would highly advise you listen to what I have to say. And then I would get interrupted, and this person would want to talk over me halfway through a sentence, because as soon as they're triggered, like some of you are such incontinent, diarrhea of the mouth, running your mouth addict, megalomaniac drama queens, that you can't shut the frick up, even if your life with your kid depended on it, that as soon as you think a thought, you have to go blah, 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 this is what I'm thinking, blah, 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 and every single thought in your head runs directly to your mouth. You will lose in court. And I don't want to help you if you're going to do that. So I gave this lady her, you know, I tried to narrow the conversation. She wouldn't listen. So I let her just talk. And this doesn't happen. Some of you guys will probably say, oh, that's a woman for you. No, guys do this stuff all the time too. So when we get to this hour, I gave her an ultimatum. I said, look, we're not getting where you need to learn some stuff from me. I haven't even had a chance to tell you anything. I had another guy, the dude kept cutting me off. And he was all anxious and he was emotional. If you're going to be emotional and anxious during a consult and you can't calm the frick down, then don't schedule a consult. Or other people want to just talk about all kinds of unnecessary stuff. They'll text me and I'll say, what day and time do you want to talk? Oh, I have a funeral. I have this and that. I have a family reunion. And then I like to go grocery shopping on this day. Why the hell did your dumbass think I actually care about that information? Some of you need to wake the hell up, shut the frick up, and if you don't know something and you're talking to somebody who does, just shut the hell up and listen. And absorb stuff. And take notes and be willing to learn and say, oh, I've done that wrong. And if you don't like it, then go to a father's rights movement, because those guys will cuddle and spoon with you all night long, whining and pissing and moaning about your loser MO.